What's up, guys? We are back. Fitness, Profit Multiplier, Anthony and Jimmy. Today, we're going to be talking about the daily habits you need to be $1,000,000 closer. So, you're looking to make $1,000,000, 7 figs. Well, there's certain habits that millionaire closers have that we're going to explain to you so you can have them and then you could perform them on the daily basis so that you can get to $1,000,000 in sales. Very simple. So, we're going to go right into this today, Jimmy. So, first one, we've mentioned this so many times before. Good $1,000,000 sales closers do call reviews consistently, daily. They review their calls, good, bad, and different. Now, I'll give you my little spiel on this. I always like listening to good, successful calls because when you listen to good, successful calls, you can repeat good actions. So, hey, I know why this person booked the call because I sounded great. I was able to answer their questions, and you pick out what you did right, and then you just repeat that action over and over again. Pretty straightforward there.
Yep, you got to do it. Don't sleep on it.
Yeah, and again, you could do as much of it as you want. We would recommend at a minimum at least one call a day that you're listening to, because at the end of the week, that would be 5 or 6 calls that you're listening to, which is good.
Yeah.
If you can do more, that's even better. But I think after a certain point, it becomes a little bit overkill. But at least 1 or 2 every day is ideal.
Yep, I agree.
All right, the next one. You $1,000,000 closers train sales skills consistently. So I've talked about this so many times before. A good salesperson, if you take one day off, you can get rusty. It's just the way it works. Sales is a skill that constantly needs to be drilled consistently. So you need to practice those skills. Good $1,000,000 sales closers are consistently working on their skill of sales. And it's not about finding the next new technique. It's just about drilling what works. So for example, $1,000,000 sales closers drill objection closes. Okay, this person says, I need to think about it. Boom, I say this. And they practice that over and over and over. And it's the same answers. It's nothing different because every sales situation, even though they may be different, are pretty much the same. Someone says they need to think about it. There's only so many things you can say, but you got to have those drilled into your pocket every day. Understand and train your skills on the phone or in sales meetings, and then training and drilling your objections.
Because if you don't, you're going to get caught in a position where you seem as if you're not prepared and you're not going to be able to respond in a way that you want if you don't drill them. So you got to constantly drill that piece.
Yeah, and when it comes to like objection drilling, I would just say give yourself a rule of thumb. This is not, don't hold me to this, but I would say you have to try at least 3 times with a person, and this kind of leads us into one of the next habits that millionaire closers have is they don't give up after one objection. Mrs. Jones says, oh, I need to think about it. You don't say, okay, Mrs. Jones, I'll see you next time. When do you want to come? When do you want me to follow up with you? Vomit. Right. Horrible. Not good. Not what you're supposed to be doing. But you have to be able to give them a bunch of different, don't stop after one. Because maybe she needs to think about it because something's unclear to her. And you have to fix whatever's unclear to her to make it clear so she buys.
100%. I couldn't agree more with the three times, right? We have a checklist for our sales here at our facility. And it's one of the things on the checklist is, did you respond, use rejection rebuttals 3 times before accepting a no? And if you do that and you still don't close the sale, at least you've followed the system, so you've given yourself the best chances.
Yeah, agreed. Anything else you want to add on that, Jimmy?
No, that's a big thing. You can't give up. You got to keep pushing.
The next thing that $1,000,000 closers have that they all keep in common is they take care of themselves. You'll never see a $1,000,000 closer who's not in good shape mentally, physically, right? Like they take care of themselves, and you need to, right? Because in order for you to be successful at this, you need to be able to take care of yourself. If you're unable to take care of yourself, you're not going to be able to take care of others. I know this kind of sounds like cliche, but it's so important. Like for me, I get up in the morning, I work out right away, and I'm able to conquer the day a lot better when I work out first thing in the morning because I did something for me right away. And it just helps me mentally to kind of blow up the steam, like especially with working out. Those of you listening to this, you're probably in the fitness industry, so you know what we're talking about. But you get that dopamine hit from working out and you blow off like steam and you don't have any of that like pent up, like, listen, sales is not easy. It's very difficult. And you're surrounded by a sea of rejection consistently over and over and over. So you need something to kind of like let that go with. And working out is really good for that. But overall, you got to take care of yourself. You got to take care of your mental well-being. You got to take care of your physical well-being. Because if you're healthy, you're going to be able to perform for a longer period of time.
Along with that, I mean, work out, eat right, take care of yourself. The number one thing that we want to look at in that regard is your sleep quality. There's so many sales professionals in other industries, not as much in the fitness industry, but sometimes, that drink a lot and then aren't getting quality sleep because they're trying to medicate the sea of rejection that they live in, right? With alcohol. And your sleep quality, or marijuana for that matter, and your sleep quality is horrible when you ingest these things. So your sleep quality needs to be prioritized. So you got to shut your brain off, get good sleep, because that is going to make you sharp as a tack in your sales conversations.
Yeah, and this kind of ties into the next one too, which is finding the balance, right? Like you have to, we mentioned, listening to sales calls and doing that 5-6 days a week, and maybe you're calling people and dialing and selling 5-6 days a week, but you need to find balance. You need to have time off from it. You need to have time to relax and kind of get away from it. Because like we said, sales can be very, very negative. There's a lot of negative, a lot of no's. You're dealing with a lot of rejection. Stop calling me. Don't call me anymore. Take me off the list. This shit is too expensive. Blah, blah, blah. It's just a lot of rejection that you consistently get. You need time off from that too. Like I said, you do get rusty when you take that time off, but you need time to unwind. So having like a ritual, like maybe at the end of the day, and like Jimmy said, not having alcohol to unwind, but like something else, something outside of that. Maybe in your case, it's working out. Maybe that's the way you unwind, or watching comedy shows, or doing something that puts you in a different state. That's one of the things that I like to do, is that whenever I'm having like a bad day, I love to like watch a comedy movie or watch a comedian, because it just takes me out of that state. It changes my state instantly. Because if I'm laughing, I can't be depressed anymore. I can't be upset anymore. So you have to find balance between all of it.
The great book to build this into your life is To Sell is Human by Daniel Pink. So pick up that book. It really nails down the amount of buoyancy that you have to have in that sea of rejection.
Yeah. Jimmy, what do you like to do to unwind?
For me, it's mostly spending time with my loved ones and my friends, right? And it doesn't have to be centered around alcohol or centered around food, right? Sometimes it is, but for the most part, it's dedicating that time and being present with those individuals takes me out of the rat race of always trying to close and always trying to sell. So it's one of these things that if you schedule things that are important, schedule dedicated time with your wife or your husband, schedule dedicated time with your friends. That's one thing that, and as long as you're present with those individuals, you're not on your phone, checking your texts and all this kind of stuff, you can separate from this life of closing and selling, right? That's the main thing.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. And one more bonus daily habit of millionaire closes is they know the numbers. They know their numbers inside and out. They know their closing percentage. They know what percentage of people go from phone call to meeting. They know their numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you're not a millionaire closer. You're not. It's just not going to happen. You got to know the numbers. And then what they do is they pick apart the numbers and say, okay, my closing percentage is not that good, so I need to work on my objections. And they focus on that. But they know their numbers inside and out. Whenever we get on the phone with a gym owner or a personal trainer or someone who's looking to improve their sales, and you ask them what's your closing percentage and they don't know, that's a huge red flag for us. You got to know your numbers inside and out. And if you're like me and you just can't memorize all these numbers, as long as you have this stuff documented that you can go to and look at consistently and know, okay, what's my closing percentage? Pull up your document. Okay, my closing percentage is this. That's it. That's all you need. But you got to track those numbers. Millionaire closers know how to track that stuff.
100%. I couldn't agree more. Being the numbers guy in the group here, you know your number. You can make good decisions about what it is that you need to improve upon with your skill set. And if you don't know the numbers, you don't even know where to start or what to focus on. So that's number one.
Exactly. All right, guys, if you need help with any of this stuff, if you want us to help train you or your sales staff on sales, getting on live trainings with us and going through it, just click the link below and you can purchase right through there. And you can even, if you want to talk to us, you can hop on the phone, set up a call, and we'll go from there. But until next time, this is Anthony and Jimmy, Fitness Profit Multiplier. We're out.